Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Captain JK, and welcome back. Um, it's been a long time. Probably I can't even speak. Dang, probably 2 days. I was supposed to upload this video on Sunday, but had a bit of issue problem. Not much of an excuse if you ask me. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys on how to connect FlightGear to VATSIM. If you are someone who likes to find VATSIM, of course, VATSIM is free. There's no payment, no nothing. So all you just need is to get yourself an account, pass an exam that you have to do, and you'll be able to find VATSIM. Now we're going to go through the first step, which is downloading the software that will connect FlightGear to VATSIM. And this software is called Swift. Now go to the link in the description. I think it should be the first link, and you come to this web page right here. Now you want to scroll down to the beta version, the one that says latest. We want to come over here and select the your device option. Let's say using Windows, that kind of option. So I'm using Mac, so I'll go ahead and click and install this. It shouldn't take that long. Alright, so once it's done, you want to go ahead and click on it. We have it open. Now, if this is your first time downloading it, everything should go fine. But if this is not your first time downloading it, just updating it, you might want to delete the previous version, or you can keep the previous version there, then have the installer go through all the updates and all that kind of stuff, and then you can delete the old version. But yeah, anyway, double click on this icon, the Swift installer. Alright, now it's giving an error like this. What you want to do, my goodness, what you want to do is close that, right click and click on open. Once you open, it's not going to yet, the option for open is going to appear. Click on open. Hello, anyone there? Application, what happened? Okay, looks like errors are accumulating right now. What happened? Well, that's awkward. Yep, nothing's happening. This might be a problem. Oh, sorry, the opening. Okay. Oh, there you go, open. This is an unnecessary problem. Is it opening? Okay, it's opening. There we go. Alright, so it'll open the wizard or setup wizard or whatever. Yeah, setup wizard would pop up like this. It might not take long, as you saw there. I cannot guarantee though. Anyway, click on next. Then you have to read through all of this. Yeah, you have to read through all of this. Yeah. And then hit on accept the agreement. And click next. Alright, so here's the tricky part. Since you come over to this, page. And when you come over here, you have this, drop down, simulator plugins. Okay. Now it's a select explain for you. But that's not the sim you're using. You're using FlightGear. You can go ahead and select 2 if you like, but since this tutorial is on FlightGear, we're not going to be using explain. Then you can go ahead and click on next. Then select the directory where you want it to be saved. This is a what was this? Enable the advanced option. Don't run. Alright, now we run it. Alright, so once you're done, just go ahead and start the install. Please hurry up. Finished. Alright, so now it's opening the Swift launcher. The Swift launcher, right? I said Swift. Hit finish. Alright, so when it opens like this, okay, you want to go ahead and allow it to access your mic. Now, if you had watched my previous video that I posted on, probably, is it Sunday or Saturday? Yeah, I posted that video. Up, and it showed you, if you were watching, at the end where I crashed, you see that you saw a application pop up with everything like that. That was a Swift. That's not what we are doing right now. So you can go ahead and click on the checkboxes down here. Click next. Wait for it to load up. Then hit next. Alright, so now if you look over here, we got two versions. This is the first version. This is the second one. This one, as you can see, I think this may mean that it's not currently there. But since we have this one currently there, what I want to do is copy. If you don't have a previous version, you can go ahead and hit on next. But since I do have it, and then copy over here, we got to variable sets and yes. Right to say yes. Copied one set and one set from okay. So yeah, these are all the categories of the aircraft that currently have. So after it's done, or if you don't have, you can go ahead and click on next. So come over here, you can go ahead and do the same thing again. Select all and hit copy. That is if you do have. This is just a setting, so there shouldn't be any problem. So click on next again. So what you do is you want to deselect X-plane and select FG. Okay. So since you're on Mac, there's a bit of trouble. Minimizing this. There's a bit of trouble. You know how FlightGear is a application on its own. So basically, FlightGear is on its own, and you need to access the data of this. So basically, what you want to do is you want to copy it. Of course, you're gonna download. All right. Another thing. At the point of the video, what I meant by you'd need to copy it, you actually have to right click on it and click on show package content, and then copy that content, which is a folder, and then place it here. And you have data, all these things, all the folders are here. Just want to show you that. Come back to the configuration wizard, and then it says simulator directory. Okay, so you want to click here, then it should open. So you want to go desktop, just go down into the folder, hit on resources, hit on data, and hit OK. They start open. Then when you come down here, and you'd want to go through to the AI, then go to aircrafts, then you just select this at open. Now I want to do, you can do this if you like, but you know how we have our FlightGear add-on folder, where you have all your other aircraft inside. You can go ahead and select that one as well. This isn't that highly recommended, but I do it anyway to see if there's any luck with it. So you can go ahead and select this one as well. Section option. So once you're done, you want to go ahead and save it. Then you hit next. Now you come over here. There's probably going to be some number here. So what I'm gonna do is hit reload. We'll reload. This one should be overrun. Write it. Hold up. Stop. No. Close. Let's say create display. Sorry, display. Force reload. Okay. Gonna take a bit of time. Successfully loaded these models. Go ahead and click on create. Yes. Then correctly, it was copy. No, no, no. What am I doing? Hey, yo, what the? Save. Then close. Alright, there you go. So then you'd want to check over here, making sure only FlightGear is checked as FG. Then you hit on next. Since this is not really necessary for us, it's not necessary for us, we can go ahead and hit skip. Alright, so you can go ahead and say a binding here, just to show you. You can go ahead and press add. Come over here, you can, wait, this is not part, okay, never mind. So here's the press, so you want to click on select, then come to the drop down, and then you click on this. You have many options. I already have one, so I'll go ahead and click on the control left, then which one you would want. So you can go and set one for your tests, one for testing, one for your actual voice. You can select this, then hit OK, and it's set over here, but I don't want to have two controls, so I'm going to delete this, or you can edit it. By the way, there's also a possibility to add a second one, so it's basically be a combination of two. So yeah, combination of two for the mic can work. But as I said, I'm gonna use this one, so I'm gonna move it. Once I hit on finish, you come back to your Swift launcher. Then you want to hit on the GUI. Then Swift should start to run. Right, so let's maximize this window over here. And of course, okay, there we go. So, yep, it's gonna ask for your access to your mic. Hit OK. There you go. As I'm speaking, the green indicates your voice. You can clearly hear your voice. There should be gray if it's not clear. And as you can see, this pink or purplish thin if it's. As you can see, come on. Oh, this is an update. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is an update. First time I'm seeing this. So let's get that out. Right, let's get out. This is the outcome 1, which is your COM 1 over here. This is your outcome 2, which is your COM 2 over here, and this is your output. Of course, you'd only see this move when ATC or fellow traffic is communicating either on Unicom or with the on the same frequency with the controller. Alright, so that is it for the installation. Now, what was the other thing again? Yes, I miss what happens when you don't plan the script. So once you're done, that isn't the final step. You go to connect. All right. So like when you come into connect, you have this. Okay. Now he says pilot info, and you come over here. It says ID. This would, when you're signing up for VATSIM, this will be the ID, then the password. You can tell your home or port. You can set your home or port to anything. This is your name. It's your name. Some of the things here might be a bit. We'll look at the settings later after we go through the VATSIM, the how to get your username set up in VATSIM. Right. So when you come back to your browser, you want to go overhead to VATSIM. Okay, my VATSIM.log. Okay, that was not the plan. My eyes. Alright, so before you sign up, you get all these things. So let's hit a log out. So let's say, okay, let's register. So when I hit register, you'll be met with this thing you have to go through. Then you fill in your first and last name, your age, your country resident, state or province, that depends on you. Accounts recovery word, secret word that you will use to valid update your identity should you need to feature access. Okay, so a region, select a division. Alright, so once you have everything, you go ahead and register. Then once you're registered, you want to go and verify your account. You want to go and verify your email. And yeah, then once you sign in, that is in everything. And go ahead and log in. Just go ahead and log in. So once you log in, you should come over here. Now, before you can fly on VATSIM or any network, you have to go through an exam. Let me show you quickly. So this is a notification of my exam that I did. You'd have to learn a bit about some of the you need to learn a bit about some of the things you would do in as a pilot. So you would have to learn some few things, and you would have to go to an exam. Of course, yep, here it is, my exam. Yeah, I failed twice. But hopefully not you. So once you've done your exam, you'd have to learn a bit. Before you have to learn and take the exam. If you think you're good enough, you not good enough. If you think you've learned and you keep going through the exam, you can go ahead and do it. There would be a time if you fail the exam, you would have to wait a number of minutes before you can retake another one. But once you're done, everything is good and set to go. Then you would come back to Swift and enter your ID as well as your password, your name as well, and your home airport, and then your home airport. Um, I may have these things blurred out, maybe, probably, I'm not sure. All right, so once you're done, you can go ahead and file your flight plan on SimBrief. If only, yep. So you'll be filing your flight plan on SimBrief. You can go and file your flight plan. In this job using the A320. So we can go and flight plan. Let's say we're gonna be easy 5665 over to PHKO. It's an hour and 5 minutes. Then you come here, select your aircraft. Oh, what? Select your aircraft. Select your um what do you call it again? Flight plan format or layout. I'm gonna select this and LBS. Then my call sign easy 5665. Go ahead and select the. As for the extra fuel, you can select any amount. Depends on you. You can just select any amount. But I usually set the amount according to the scheduled time. So if it's like that, I'll just do 1.5. Then extra fuel 1.5. You can go ahead and set it or leave it automatic. But there's a problem. If you set it to the kind of layout or flight plan layout I have, you would not see the cargo. The flight plan that I've seen works the best is LDO, LIDO. Goodness, LIDO. But this is a tutorial on how to file a flight plan. This is so once you're done, you can go ahead. Once you're done going through, I am not using the latest cycle. It's still outdated. So once you're done and you can see everything is good for you, if you've gone through everything and you're satisfied with everything, you can go ahead and generate your flight plan. Alright, so once your flight plan has been generated, you can go ahead and click this pre-file button. So as you can see, we have 4 options for the kind of networks you want to fly on. VATSIM, a IVAO, and Pilot Edge, and Postcon. Postcon? Correct me if I'm wrong, but okay. So what we want to click on is myvatsim.net. So alright, so once it'll open like this with all your details entered, which is your call sign, the type of flight plan or flight rule, which is the IFR, FT20, departure, arrival, the time you're supposed to go off. When you are fire your flight plan, it's 30 minutes before the time you're firing your flight plan. Sorry if I'm not speaking quite clearly, but okay. So this is your route time, how long you will spend until you get there, which is 39 minutes. Then once you're done, make sure all the information you have is correct. Go ahead and click on the file flight plan, and if it says file, it will show you up here. Then you could go ahead and close it. If it's your first time actually opening this, opening the pre-file, it's going to have to actually to enter your ID and password before it can open. Alright, so once you're there, you can go ahead and close it. Come back here. Now you have everything set up. You have all your flight plan planned and everything. So the next thing you'd want to do is start FlightGear. And of course, it's gonna be a long process. Yeah. So let's go ahead and have FlightGear run up, and then we'll start off from there. Just to make this okay, let's go ahead and start off at the Honolulu. I'm just gonna start this stand, hit fly, and now we wait. Okay, as you wait, there's a few things you want to get a hold of or to know. First, you want to go through some few things you'd want to know before you start your first flight. I'm not a complete, it's not a complete guide. You want to go on, you might want to search on YouTube, find some kind of tutorial on your first flight or anything about it. Anything about a first flight on VATSIM, what you should do or what you should not do. Although there are rules in the VATSIM, there should be some rules in the VATSIM, but I'm going to show you some things that you will need when you're flying. Of course, if you're someone who doesn't have Navigraph and doesn't have those kind of charts or is anything like that, this may help you. Know that you cannot fully rely on them because they are not always accurate. So I'm going to leave their links in the description. So the first one would be chartfox.org. This is where you can get your most of the charts, although it doesn't support all of them, but it has most of them. So you hit on login, and of course it will ask you for your your authentication. FlightGear, okay. First time has been long. Okay, so once you log in, you can now search for the airport you want. Since we're on Honolulu, let's go ahead and type in the ICA code, and bam, let me remove this from the dock. So these are some of the things you would see. You can go ahead and click on one of them. Sometimes they may not open, sometimes they may open. It's difficulties there and here. You can go to something you want. You can even pin them onto your dock over here. Aircraft diagram, taxi, sit, start, approach. Most of it is here. So sometimes when you try to use your mouse control and your mouse to scroll in, it doesn't work. But hey, this is worth it if it doesn't cost that much. So this is the taxi charts and everything. Some airports, like I said, may have the charts, but they may not work because of some few things. I don't know what they may. My goodness, I can't speak today. Oh my goodness. Anyway, like I said, some of the charts may not open. Some of these things may not open. You may click on one of them and they may not open. Now, if you want to know what kind of departure or departure state you're flying, you can go ahead into your briefing. you can go ahead into your briefing, my briefing over here, and to open the latest flight plan you have. Like, come look over here. We have the you can look at your departure set, which is the Pele 2 departure set. Come back over here and look for that. Of course, you may not find it as usual, outdated. But yeah, here it would be. So you can go ahead and look in close. Like I said, and I will say it again, do not rely too much on this information I'm going to be telling you. You could go ahead and search on the YouTube to look at some of which we read charts and how to your first experience on VATSIM. Of course, I would do that in the next video because I can't do it right now. Currently, do some other things. Anyway, so you can go through the chart. That's it for the charts. You can go ahead and also come to view. Let's say you want to trace your VATSIM flight. You can go ahead and come to map.vatsim.net, which is of course SimAware. So basically, this displays the VATSIM flights that can happen. Of course, you can also use Volanta to look at the flights and everything. Of course, Volanta is not supported with with FlightGear. Now, I had someone say this before, like they would connect on VATSIM and they wouldn't have any control or anything. Now, explaining this further, when you sign on VATSIM, you find out from an airport to a different airport, there isn't always going to be a chance of a VATSIM or VATSIM ATC online. You can you can go ahead and search for bookings for these VATSIM ATCs. There is a website to look for the VATSIM bookings, the ATC bookings, and of course you can also check on Swift. You can go to ATC down here, then you can go over here to ATC booked, and it shows you the number of ATC that are booked for the day. Like as I said, this video is not good. Oh my goodness. As I said, this video is not going to cover the beginning of how to get a clearance and all that kind of stuff. You can go and watch other YouTube videos on how to do that, but this video I'm only going to show you how to connect and how to tune it to frequencies and other stuff. The other thing I want you to know is before you fly in VATSIM, the aircraft that you're using, please be sure to be familiar with it. You cannot fly on a VATSIM network. You cannot fly on the VATSIM network without knowing how to change your routes, how to input heading, descent, how to basically control your aircraft when given instruction by ATC. But of course, I also had a bit of fright on my first time flying, but yeah, everything worked out. Although I would advise you would learn about it before you actually go on the VATSIM network. From my case, I just learned it through experience. Wasn't quite enjoyable, but it was something. So these are all the ATCs that are currently on, and these are the ICA codes for each airport. So we have what is that again? Frankfurt. Yeah, we have delivery. That's the D. We have delivery. We have tower. We have approach. Now the ATIS and approach have the same letter and the same color of the letter. So if you see A, which is for approach, and you see this circle around the airport, know that approach is online. If it's T, know that tower is online. And sometimes you would have what we call either radar or center. So basically, if you have your mouse over a certain area where it's mostly like highlighted, of course no center or radar is on. You would if you hover over them, you would see the name underscore CTR, which is that for center. But yeah, also if an airport is fully booked, you probably see 4 because you see delivery, ground, then tower, then approach. Probably if you're lucky, you get departure, and If it's in the controller space, you probably get radar center. Um, Sometimes HC may come on unexpectedly. Then may probably if you check the booking time and you've seen the time the HC will come on, or if you are aware that HC come on, or situations like that may only happen if there are too many aircraft that are approaching into the airport or are leaving the airport. Yeah, so that's the only situation where HC suddenly pop up, or it's just that they have some kind of free time and you want it to come on. So I think that would be that for the explanation. I think FlightGear shuffle reloaded. Yep. So go ahead and if you have a pause, unpause it. Oh, dang. So once you have your aircraft in and everything, what you want to do? My goodness. What you want to do is go over to multiplayer, then distribute option that Swift connections. Now do not change anything here. Do not touch anything. Do not change anything. Just hit on start server. And then once it starts, the stop option highlights, you can go ahead and close. Then you go back to Swift. Before this thing is gonna open. There you go. Then you come over to you can go over ATC. No, what am I doing? What am I doing? Okay, go over to connect. Now when you go over to connect, you'll see this. You see the model is highlighted as A320 and C, so that'll be your aircraft type. And this is your call sign. So if you recall, during the flight plan, if it's still open, yep. During the flight plan, we had our call sign, which if you can just see it. Okay, it's not here. If we can see it, where are you? There you go, over here, easy 5665. So if you come over to Swift, you have to fill in that exact call sign. If you fill a different call sign, the flight plan will not, the flight plan that your file will not show up on ATC for you. So you would have to check it. Also, sometimes you may have an incident where someone may get your call sign. How they get it, I don't know. But in most cases, it's your own idea, so probably you will get the flight plan you filed. So you can go ahead. I'll go ahead and enter it right now just to show you. So easy 5665. Now the type here is the engine type. So we have a L system for lights, right? Two. So let's go ahead, type in LG2 for L2J. Goodness, why can't I speak today? Anyway, so on aircrafts, you want to go ahead and enter A320. Of course, it should be the same aircraft that you're using. Find the A320 Neo. That's the model that has identified. So you have to look for A320 Neo. Then you select it. Now we're flying EasyJet. So this is the airline. So you need to enter the IATA code or something like that. Right. Oh, ICA code. So you want to enter it like, for example, so you're flying EasyJet right now. So I want to enter EZY. So EZ and Y, and you get easy. If there are the others such as we have indicated by our call sign, we are flying EasyJet. So once you've finished setting everything up and you have your credentials and everything entered here, you notice that if you come over here to simulator, it's now indicated. I mean, the simulator is online and the server is running. You come over here, you see mode is now normal. You can come over here, but as an observer, you are not allowed to communicate with anybody on the network or even HTC. You're just there to observe. That's basically it speaks for itself. Alright, so once you're done, you want to go ahead and okay, let's do some quick things first. Go into settings, And if I remember correctly, there we go. On GUI, you have fonts. Now, I don't like using this kind of font. I like to increase it a bit. Just a bit. Depends on you if you'd want. You can go ahead and click on OK. Give it some time. Alright, so it should, there we go. Now, of course, it does depend on you if you want it or not. So you can, depending on you, you can go ahead and bold, italic, bold, italic. I'm gonna just leave it on normal. Your font type depends also depends on you. I'm not changing that. Okay, so once you're done setting the font, go ahead and click on OK to save it. Alright, so to the connect part. So this is about to be your first time on VATSIM. We're normal. Just hit normal. So click on connect. Now, if for someone you think that your first time things are not gonna go well, you can go ahead and watch videos, but if you want to fly on the VATSIM network and sign on VATSIM at a place where there is no ATC and fly around there. But in that case, it'd be on Unicom communicating with the traffic. That is if you want to avoid ATC, but as usual, things are sometimes impossible. You would eventually end up having to go to meet ATC, contact them. Give me a sec. All right. Never mind that. Got a bit interrupted. Once you're done, once you have your flight plan set, you're finished installing Swift and everything like that. Here comes the difficult part. Now signing onto VATSIM. So you can go ahead and set up your own aircraft. Now you can go ahead and now click on connect. Make sure everything is correct. If you have not completed the exam, if not got yourself certified, you have not activated your account, you will not be able to log in. If you try to log in, it will not connect you. So once you've gotten everything, you've done the exam, everything's okay, click on connect. Hello? Hello? I'm experiencing lag. Someone please. Hello? And I have a problem. Okay, there we go. Connected. Wow, they actually changed up the UI for. Dang, they actually changed it. Dang. Okay. You should hear this music. Voice. God.
Events for the latest community and network updates. Visit our website or connect with us on Discord https://VATSIM community. Thanks for being a part of the community and enjoying your session.
Alright, so you hear that you would hear that long message that you can use to confirm that you are connected to VATSIM. And yeah, congratulations, you've now got it one step to Terra. Some things you want to check on the VATSIM map. If you can go over the map. Sometimes when you're loading into a certain airport, you want to check if the stand you're responding at is not taken up by someone else. Because when you connect to the network, you're gonna have an aircraft in your aircraft, and sometimes it's not acceptable. It's not that kind of great. So you have to move your aircraft. And in that case, you could use the PHI. To use the PHI, of course mine has been set to local. I have made a video on how to set up your PHI. Go ahead and check that out. I'll also leave that in the link in the description. So if your FlightGear is running, you would have this, you would be able to connect, and so it should load in directly where your airport is, where your aircraft is. Alright, so you can zoom in. This is the gate or stand identity. So this is Charlie 8, Charlie 7, Charlie 6, and going. So you can, so let's say you've occupied a space with let's say you came a log on, someone's already there, you want to move. you can go ahead and click yourself, drag yourself to a different stand, put yourself on there. Now, of course, you want to be careful with the aircraft you do use. Sometimes you may experience some problems with the aircraft, especially what I've experienced recently with the A320 was sometimes when you depart off of the departure runway, it does not deselect the runway and have you continue a flight plan, but it has the flight plan, the runway is selected, so you have to fly back over it. Do not think it's not. You don't have to land on the runway just to get it. You just have to fly over it, just like you're flying to a waypoint. But that's sometimes annoying, and it can also annoy the ATC. Goes to get a bit of warning what happened there, what's going on, that kind of stuff, and sometimes it's really annoying. So even if you are in the air here, you're flying around, and you suddenly just move your aircraft to the waypoint and bring yourself back, you will be called by ATC or by a supervisor, and that's really bad news if that happens. But there's no perfection. Of course, you can communicate with the agency saying you have a bit of problem, you want to do this, you want to do that. Just know that being friendly, being confident in what you're doing is the best way to get with ATC. Don't go ahead and be frightened and be scared of what you're not doing, right? That kind of stuff. Yeah, so that should do it. So let's go ahead and power on the aircraft, and I'll show you guys about the tuning. This is not a problem. Sometimes you'd have to go out of VATSIM to look in the browser to, let's say, chartfox.org. I'm gonna look at the charts there. Now when you come back into VATSIM, I think you would have to press either Shift plus X or Control plus X. If you do not do any of this, you will not be able to interact with the FlightGear, because for some reason once you go out and come back, it's FlightGear suddenly becomes a bit unresponsive. So certain things that may not work. Let's say you're trying to fly your joystick, or you're trying to turn or do any kind of stuff. You want to change views, you want to interact with FlightGear. It doesn't work like that. Just like it just stuck, just freezes. Let's go ahead and power the aircraft. Oh my goodness, my ears. Alright, so that is that. So of course you need to know how to change your altimeter, how to set your speeds, how to your heading, how to change your altitude, yeah, how to intercept and localizer, all that fun stuff. Alright, so of course we're in the A320. You want to go ahead and come over down here to turn these on. Now another thing would be the fact that if you want to stick with realism, you can go ahead and use the website down below, which is going to be called FlightConnections. It's a website that looks at that actually shows you real world hops for different airports, and it will show you which airline fly to that airport, which airline leave that come to that airport, that kind of stuff. And you can go realistic with your flights and be like, okay, I'll use this airline. But if you're someone who doesn't also go realistic, you can just use any airline you'd like. Alright, so this is the com. You realize if you look at the com here, you have two comms. Alright, so look at it. You have to check the two comms. You want to go back to Swift. If you go back to cockpit and you check here, you realize the same values that you saw on the comms are here. So basically they're connected. Alright, so in the FlightGear itself, it would seem that you cannot change the comms. You cannot change them using FlightGear's dialogues. But if you come over here and you actually change it, if you actually change it over, so let's say I would say 1 to 2.8, then I come back into FlightGear, you see that it changes. So if you're someone who cannot, when AC says change over to this frequency and you didn't get everything, but you got some part of it, and you can quickly switch out of FlightGear, come back to ATC. Look for the ATC that have that the frequency matches up with the with what you already have. Then you can switch over to that frequency. But that may be a bad practice. But if you think if you weren't able to get it first and you think you got most of it, then you can use that to you know uh, transfer it over to different ATC. But most of the time they would want you to make sure you get the correct frequency, so they'll ask you to repeat the frequency so that they know you'll have gotten it. Right, so after that, you can, as usual, as normal as it is, you can change it in cockpit. You can see, you can change it, you can switch over, and then you can go over, and you can go to cockpit again. You see it's changed. Now it's one thing you have to be careful when on Swift. You see, sometimes you may fly into, or your COM2 may have a frequency that is that a current ATC is on. So it's best if you, like, let's say you're having this latest version. It's best you turn COM2 all the way down to silent. It's best you turn it all down to silent so that it does not output any information, because sometimes and if you talk on COM1 and COM2, you will change COM2 to Unicom, but then there may be a Unicom frequency or airspace, an uncontrolled airspace around you. So it may tune into that Unicom over there. Then you would hear pilots talking over there, as well as being in an area where ATC is, and you're also hearing them as well. And you can confuse yourself as you go on flying. So that must be avoided. Of course, you cannot, whatever you do, you cannot turn it off from here. Even if you turn it off, it will still have the values. It will still have it all set in here. Alright, so yeah, I think that would be it for today's tutorial. This is just gonna be one for a part 1. If anything else is left out, I would do a part 2 on it. So yeah. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please be sure to like, share and subscribe. As usual, if you like if you want me to do another part of this, you want me to explain a bit of things, or in another video, you can go ahead and comment it down below. In this video, I'd like to aim for 5 likes. 5 likes. Just, going a bit average. Anyway, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, as usual, I just said it before. Okay, as usual, please be sure to like and subscribe if you want future content like this. And I'll see you guys in the next video or tutorial. Bye bye.